Welcome to the Inner Circle Show. In today's episode, we need to speak about how Tesla employees are speaking out ahead of Thursday's shareholder meeting. We also need to discuss some key Palantir figures that you must be aware of, and much, much more. But before we get into all that, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn your notifications on so you never miss an upload Monday through Friday. I don't need to keep telling you, but Thursday the 13th is a very important day. It is the Tesla shareholder event where we will find out the results of the Tesla revote. Ahead of this, many people have been speaking out, and now we also have Tesla employees to add to this list. Ashok, who was the first Tesla hire for the AI and autopilot team, and now he actually leads that autopilot team, wrote an article on X. Now, this is a very, very long article. You can see it on the screen now. I'm not going to read all through it. However, I do recommend you do. But he has put this out at a very important time before the shareholder event. So if you haven't already, please go and cast your vote. And like I said, we've also heard from the Tesla board recently as well. This stuff is really, really important. Now, I'm not going to read the whole article, but it talks about how autopilot started with a tiny computer with hardly any compute power. And even though it was nearly impossible, they managed to ship the world's first autopilot system in 2015. He also speaks about how Elon was the one that pushed for things to be in-house and drove the AI hardware development. So they weren't just focusing on software, they were also developing the hardware. They are clearly not just a car company. Something really crucial that he highlights in this article, along with a load of good stuff, like I said, you should absolutely read it, but he highlights how clear Elon's vision is, how dedicated Elon is, how relentless his drive is, and how it is Elon who has guided a team of talent to achieve what a lot of people thought was not possible. Experts in the field were saying that what they wanted to achieve at Tesla was never going to happen. And you know, experts are still saying this. They were never going to be able to get a car to drive autonomously in the way that which they planned to. It was not going to happen. But look, they absolutely proved them wrong. And why did they do that? Well, obviously they had a team of talent, okay? But who guided that team of talent? If it wasn't for Elon, I don't think that team of talent would have come together in the same way and would have achieved what they've achieved in the timeline that they've achieved it. So even though people ridiculed Elon for the way he wanted to go about things, everything has worked out now. I think this comes down to one thing. The idea that Elon is crucial for the next growth of Tesla, especially in terms of AI. And he ends this article saying this: if not for Elon's ambition, Tesla might have dwindled to become just another car company. Then we had another Tesla employee, a guy named Milan who works with Optimus. He had a lot of important things to say as well, including this: whether at Tesla or not, I'd say the same. Without Elon, none of these amazing things would have ever happened. I can only imagine what a lesser future we'd be living in without his involvement and dedication. I've said many times before, some people don't like the fact that Elon speaks out about controversial issues. Some people don't like the fact that he is the richest man in the world and they're a little bit jealous. There's all these different reasons that people just don't really like Elon Musk. However, you cannot deny that he is one of the most important people in the generation today. And he is by far one of the main reasons that Tesla is where it is today. So once again, I urge you to vote if you haven't already. The Tesla shareholder meeting is coming up very, very soon. I also saw this on X, which I thought was very, very interesting. Now, this is showing you revenue growth in the past decade. And what we can see here is something very, very, very bullish for Tesla. Over the last decade, Tesla's revenue growth has been up by 3,333%, which is by far the largest amount compared to any of these other massive, massive companies that you can see on the screen now. Do remember though, this is of course just revenue growth. This isn't considering margins, this isn't considering stock price or anything like that. But it is clear that even though Tesla stock price hasn't been doing very much, let's say in the last 3 years, the company behind the stock has been making fundamental moves to a better future. Let me know what you think about all this in the comments below. And I have more Tesla news to share on this episode with Vault members exclusively. Now, before we move on to today's Palantir topic, you'll see on the screen now the planned topics for the exclusive segments on the Vault this week. So today we need to speak about how this generation are just not as happy as we used to be. Tomorrow we're going to speak about how cancel culture attacks again. Thursday, we're going to be speaking about all things pronouns. Are they getting out of control? Then on Friday, we're rounding the week up with a discussion on whether or not men are being creepy at the gym. If you want to get access to these exclusive segments, you want to watch these shows completely ad-free, and you want even more Tesla and Palantir information coming to you Monday to Friday every single week, join the Vault. I'll leave a link in the description. 40% of my entire portfolio is allocated to Palantir. I think Palantir is a special company. It is a once-in-a-generation opportunity, and I am not missing out. But there is something that we need to speak about, and something that the bearish people are saying about Palantir, and actually, you know what? They do have a point. There's a lot to be said about Palantir, so in the interest of time, I'm going to try and keep this quite brief. Palantir can be thought of as providing hard AI rather than soft AI. This is a term I recently came across when I interviewed a guy called Andre on my podcast. But the idea is basically that Palantir are offering AI solutions that go far beyond just chat functionalities. They are offering solutions that make proper impacts. Palantir are enabling artificial intelligence to be utilized with inputs and outputs across an entire business organization, which then allows businesses to understand their complex data sets and action these data sets in a way that mimics human cognitive abilities. And we can think of this quite opposite to how soft AI works. Let's just say chatbots. You know, they're a bit of fun. You can throw a prompt in there, you get an answer out. Maybe you can ask it what the tallest building in the world is and things like that. But ultimately, even though they're a nice to have, they're not business critical at this point. Palantir is also providing agnostic technology. This means that their technology is not favoring any specific industry or application. The whole idea is that their software, their solutions are designed to be versatile and adaptable. But with all this said, we still have some bears speaking out about Palantir. We still have some general skepticism around this idea that Palantir should absolutely be growing better than they are. Revenue growth hasn't been the highest. Year over year, the latest data is showing us that the revenue growth is sitting at about 21%. Startups and high growth companies, which Palantir is, would typically expect to see between 20% or 50% or even more annually. So although revenue growth right now does seem to be a little bit slow, it doesn't seem to be hitting those massive numbers, I would argue that this is not always going to be the case. And actually, their incredibly meaningful work and their strong market position is absolutely worth paying attention to. And also remember that revenue is a lagging indicator, meaning we only see the revenue come in for the previous amount of time. We're not seeing it happen in real time. For quite a while, Palantir had very, very complex, costly to deploy products. Not everyone could afford them, and more importantly, they weren't actually making sales that easily to all of their potential customers. But we know this is getting better. We know that they are marketing better, they're selling better, they're reducing the sales cycle time, and they're deploying faster. Just look at what they've done with AIP. Look at how they've implemented the AIP bootcamp strategy, and then look at AIP Condays where they show this off. Things are really, really changing at Palantir. So I don't think that this slightly lower than average revenue growth that we're seeing right now is always going to be the case. I still think Palantir is one of the most incredible companies, and I am the most bullish I've ever been on this position right now. So do let me know what your thoughts are on this in the comments below. And just like with Tesla, I've got even more Palantir news that I'm going to share exclusively with Vault members. And in other news, we have Apple's Worldwide Developer Conference event taking place today. By the time you see this video, it would have already happened, so we can fill in with that information in a later episode. But this is really exciting. We do care about this. Why do we care about this? Well, because for quite a long time, people have thought that Apple are a little bit behind in this whole AI race. They're not really doing anything that amazing. Hopefully, this event will be our chance to see what's really going on. Of course, we will get software updates as we always do at these events, but what everyone is looking for here is their AI-related information. People want to see and hear about their new AI initiatives, potentially in partnership with OpenAI. And a lot of people are anticipating that we will hear about more updates happening to Siri. So watch this space. Hopefully what we'll see is Apple come out and they wow everyone, and they absolutely deserve their place as leaders in AI. We'll have to see what happens. Now it's time to move on to the extended and exclusive sections for Vault members only. If you're a Vault member and you're watching this on YouTube, head over to the Vault and you can continue watching there. And if you're not a Vault member, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in tomorrow's episode. If you want to watch these episodes ad-free, get exclusive and extended content and a bunch of other perks, become an insider of the Inner Circle Vault. Link in the description.